Now this course has 3 tee markers: the whites, the reds, and the blues. For the most part, the men play the white tee markers, the ladies play the red tee markers, and if you meet certain age requirements, you're allowed to play the blue tee markers, which are a little difficult to find sometimes because they're about 50 yards ahead of the red tee markers and kind of submerged in the ground. So we'll start out by looking at Tim and Rich, who are on the white tee markers. Vicky is on the red tee marker, and no one right now is on the blue, but we'll show you where it is a little later. Is who should play first when you go to a hole. Now typically in the rules of golf, 2 things come into play. The first is the person who had the best score on the last hole usually tees off first. That's called having honors. So if somebody had a 5 on hole number 1 and somebody had a 6, usually the person with the 5 goes first. The other thing that usually happens is the person who's furthest away from the hole goes before the other. Since the men's tees are a little further back than the ladies, generally the men go first and the ladies second. However, in our league, we're very flexible. As long as you have an agreement among the 4 players who goes first, that's fine with us. It's sometimes called the concept of ready golf. And we're very open to playing ready golf if the whole foursome agrees to that. So, as I say, generally that's the way that works, but if the group agrees on a certain pattern, we're fine with that. What you do if you reach the maximum score is a max score per hole. That means on a par 3 it's still a 6, but on a par 4 it's now a 7, and on a par 5 or 1 par 5 it's now a 8, not a 10. That you should be picking up your ball if you reach that number at that point.
And I'm lying 6 right here. I'm about to hit my 7th shot. If I don't knock it into the hole, I will walk up to the green and just pick up the ball because I will have reached the triple bogey score. Four feet from the hole, that was my 7th shot. I'm going to pick up, mark a 7 on my scorecard, and go on to the next hole.
Okay, so we finished our round, and now it's time to total up the scores. You don't do that here on the course. You go down to the first tee, and there's a little bench there, and we're headed that way now. And what you will do is you will total up all the scores for all 4 players, and the captain of the other team, who is responsible for keeping their score, will total the score for all 4 players. Then you will compare the scores to make sure it's accurate. So you go right over here to do that.